Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mbark and I welcome you to another video of learning how to create web applications using Laravel. In today's video, we are going to look at a very interesting topic in web programming or in Laravel. So I hope you're ready to do it with me. If you are, then let's go straight to business. Today we're going to get introduced to databases and we see how we can deal with what? With databases in Laravel. Laravel makes it very interesting and simple to communicate with databases, and I think it's one of the reasons why most people come to Laravel, because it is very interesting and simple to deal with what? With databases using Laravel. So in this journey, it's going to be like a new journey to start databases. So I hope you're ready to do that with me, because for me, I'm already excited. So without wasting much time, let's go straight to business. So in the very first place, we are going to begin by setting up the environment of Laravel. As you know, a project we had not deal, environment of Laravel database. You know, in our previous project, in the project that we're working on, we had not started touching on the database. So it means that now this is the first time for us to touch the database. So the first thing that we're going to do, you're going to install XAMPP. I hope it's already installed in your computer, as I demonstrated for you in the very first place that you need XAMPP. So I'll assume at this point you have XAMPP running on your on your computer. So I'll start my SQL, and you can see my SQL is already running. So if I click on PHP here on admin, it should take me to PHP admin. So I'll hope also on your side, if you come to localhost, then stroke PHP admin, you're able to do what? To access your PHP my admin. So the PHP admin is the one that we'll use for interface of communicating with database directly. Then we'll use now the Laravel to do what? To deal with what? With database. So this is my PHP admin that is already running. So I'll assume that yours is running too. So in case you have issues, make sure that you first sort that issue of PHP my admin running, or any SQL or my SQL running on any whatever interface that you use. So after doing that, so the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to create our database that we're going to use for our project. So if you still remember our project, we called it e-news. Okay, this is the project, e-blog, that one, the one that used to create our project. So I'm going to, the name of our project, right? So I'm going to create a relevant database for our project, so we can do what? We can connect it with what? With the database. So I'll come to the interface of our project, of the database, and then click on new, and then I give the name of the database. So I can call it also e-blog, so they should be related. I shouldn't confuse them, okay? So I call the new database, I create new database, I call it e-blog, and then I say create. So the database is here, and you can see the database is empty, there is nothing inside. So after doing that, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going now to connect my project with this database. So to do that, I'll just simply come to our project here, and then after I will start it. Mine is already started. You can see it's already started, but I hope you know how to start the project right now. So after starting it, then I'll come to this file of configuration, the .env file. So the .env file will be in your project on top under .env. So here it is where we'll be putting the configuration of our of our project. So I'm going to look for the configuration of database, which are here. So the database is at this host. Of course, you can see our project is also here, 127.0.0.1, this one. So it is at that particular host, but if it fails, you can try localhost, but I hope it will not fail, okay? So this host, we can as well write localhost correctly like this. And then, let me input localhost, by the way, it's the same. Then the port is that one, then the name of the database. You know, we have just created it and we've called it e-blog. So put the name of the database and the name of the database. Then put here the username of your database and the password. But for me, by default, it is on default. The username is root and the password is nothing. So after doing that, we are going to test and see if our project has successfully connected with database. So to do that, we're going to do a migration. So before I tell you, before I explain what is meant by, before we migrate the databases, let me first explain what is meant by what? By migration. First of all, let me first come to our project and see it is running. Of course, our project is running. We're going to get rid of these ones, right? So we are going to now, what was I saying? I'm going to explain what is meant by migration. So a migration is your database in form of what? In form of files. That's the simple I can explain it. Instead of keeping the database in form of SQL or the structure of your database, so Laravel gives you ability to keep the structure of your database in form of files. So in case you lose your database, you can be able to do what? To recreate it or to regenerate it using the Laravel's what? Laravel's migrations. So to get the migrations, you can find them here under database, under migration, under database folder, under migration. So these migration are literally tables or the structure of what? Of our database. So if you move your mouse here, you can see these ones. So Laravel ships, or it comes with its own migrations that you just help us for what? For the authentication, okay? So it comes with its own migration. You create the Laravel. You can delete them or you can start with them. So if you click on the first migration, this is the first migration. So it, as I said, it is nothing but a what? But a table. So this is our first table. It is a table of users, and these are the columns of those what? Of those things. Of this particular what? Of this particular table. So you have, if you click on this one, so it's the table of users. This is the table of what? This is the table of migrating, adding the tokens into the what? Into the users, okay? And then this is the table of what? Of failed jobs. So things that will be failing, they'll be saved here. And then this is another table of what? Of personal access tokens. I'll explain all these things later, but just know these are nothing but what? But tables. But they are not migrated yet. So when we'll migrate these tables, Laravel will work on the logic of putting those tables into what? Into our database, okay? So right now we are going to migrate these tables to make sure that our database is well set. So to do that, we're going to write a command that is going to do the logic of migrating these files and make them in form of what? In form of tables to our database. And I told you that I have here my file. You can also create your own. A txt file. Me, I just created here a text file by just right-clicking new and then a text file and call it important commands. So I put here my what? My important commands. So here I'm going to be putting my important commands so that when I want them, I don't again suffer to look for them. I don't want to memorize commands. So let us first write our first command. Okay. So the command that we're going to write is the command that is going to migrate these tables. To migrate these files and change them into what? Into tables. So that command is nothing but php artisan, like this, migrate. So this PHP artisan migrate, it is going to do what? It is going to do the logic of changing these tables into, of changing these files or these commands here into what? Into tables in our database that we just created and connected. So let us go ahead and migrate that. So I'll just simply come here and copy this command that I've just written here. And then I create a new terminal. So this is the terminal that is existing, that is running, that is a serving. I'm going to create another one so that I have two. The one for serve and the one that I'm going to use to run my what? To run my commands. So I copy my command very well. And then I come and paste it here, Ctrl-V. You can as well write it by writing php artisan migrate, okay? So let me write it, php artisan migrate. So make sure that you run it on your folder. So this is going to do the logic that I've told you. I'll not repeat myself again, okay? So when I press enter, it should process, and then it should show me success. If it does not succeed, then it means that you'll have anything in your you'll have something wrong in your database connection, and it will even give you the reasons. As you can see, it has failed to do what? To proceed. There's an issue. Okay, so let's see what could be causing this issue, right? So they're saying migration table not found, state network what no such a host. Okay, so you see they are complaining of the host. So select from schema table. So it means that our database is not well connected. So I'll come back to inf and I try to remove this. So the name is, oh, you see, I made a mistake. The word supposed to be localhost, not localhost. So that was the mistake, eh? So that's, you'll have to read this in case things don't work out, okay? And make sure your database is started, okay? Make sure the database is what? Is started. The PHP the MySQL database. Whatever database that you use, but make sure it is what? It is started. So mine is started, and I've put the correct server, and let us go ahead and run it again. So I can move the cursor up to run the command again. So let us run the command again. So I press enter, it will process. Beautiful. So this is what you should expect. You should see everything should be green, 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 showing that it was successful. So even if you run the command again, so once it runs and it is successful to not migrate again, tell you nothing to migrate. So to see if things have really worked properly, come back to your database and come back to your come back to your PHP and then come back to database. So you can see the migrations are there. You can see these tables, we did not have them. The tables, we did not have them, but they have come, okay? And this is the table that will be recording the migrations, eh? You see, it shows the things that have been migrated, so they should not be repeated. So that is our simple Laravel database. Come even with what? With the table of users, okay? That is our simple what? Laravel table that it comes with. Better migrate it, don't tamper with anything. Migrate it as it is, so everything should be functioning as expected. So I hope you have migrated your tables successfully. I hope your tables have reflected in the database successfully, right? So if everything is now green, everything has worked, then that is good. Congratulations. If something that did not work properly, then don't give up. Try to read those errors properly and do what? And make sure they do what? They work out. Search anywhere and make sure that everything works out. Because you're not the first. Most people have done this. So don't think that it have just refused to work on yours. It has to work, and don't give up. So that is our first successful migration, and it is great to see that everything has been migrated. So the next thing, now we're going to see how we can create tables, okay? We're going to see how we can create what? We can create tables. So we're going to use, again, migrations to create tables. So to create a table, what you do, you just create a migration file, okay? You generate a migration file, and then Laravel takes care of creating for you the relevant table. Now, for example, this is our news project, and you know news, you'll have maybe, let us first determine what tables we'll have, okay? Let us come here maybe to important commands and put the tables that we'll have. So which tables are we going to have? So we'll have a table of what? Of news post, okay? Okay, we'll have a table of news category, okay? We'll have a table of news category. We'll have a table of news post. We'll have a table, let us call it just post, okay? And this one we'll call it just category since it is the news, or we can call it anything, okay? Let us call it news post, and this one call it category. So I'll have a table of what? Of comments, and maybe a table. Yeah, let's have just table of comments, and that can be enough, I think. So maybe the table of views, something like that. Okay, this can be enough. We shouldn't make it so much complicated, okay? So we'll have a category, we'll have a post, and then we'll have what? We'll have comments, right? So those are the tables that we're going to do what? That we're going to create. So let us begin with the table of what? Of category, because post will depend on category. So this is the news post, and this is a comment on the post. So let us go ahead and create a table of what? Of categories. So in Laravel, when you're creating tables, you have to make sure that all the tables I mean, it is good practice, very good practice, that all your table names are in plural form. So you can see this one. If you can see the table that have come with Laravel, we have failed jobs, we have migrations, we have passwords, reset tokens. So everything here that you see here, it is in what? It is in plural. So likewise, when you're creating your tables, make sure that you always give them what? Plural letters. So that is point number one. Let me put here maybe tips of Laravel tables. Okay, so the first tip is make sure table names are always in plural format. Even if you make in single format like singular, it is okay, but it will give you some limitation that I'll explain there as we proceed. Okay, but make sure that the table names are in plural format. So the next thing, use snake case. Snake case. Okay, so that is snake case. The second thing, the third thing, maybe use lower case and then snake case. So what is lower case? Lower case is the table always have in small letters. Their letters should always, the table name should be in small letters. So snake case, in case you want to separate an English word with the table, always put what? Underscore. For example, I want to create, let us say, news category table. Okay. For example, e.g., if you want to create maybe, for example, new something like this called news category. News category. If you want to do something like this, okay, you have to do it like news in small letters and then underscore, then categories. So that is the better way or the best way that Laravel recommends. As you can see here, failed underscore password, failed underscore jobs in small letters, all of them in underscore and then in plural. So always follow that. It is very, very important, and in Laravel it will save you a lot that I'll explain as we proceed. Okay, so that's how we do it. So now let us go ahead and see the command that we can use to generate a Laravel table. So there's a very good documentation here of Laravel. You can come and learn much more deep. But for now, I'm just going to take you very fast so that you can save time. So this is how you generate a command. Okay, this is how you generate. You generate a table. It is just simple. It is just, let me put it here again so we can have it. It is just PHP artisan, then make, then colon, then migration like this. Make migration like this. Then the word create, then underscore, then the table name here, and then underscore, then table. So here where you're seeing flights here is where I put table name here. Okay, so the remaining remain the same. So for example, let me create a table for what? For categories or for news categories. Okay, so to do that, let us just for better of our experience, let's do it like this: news categories, so you can learn, and then news posts. Okay, I want to do 2 words or multiple words so you can learn better. Otherwise, if I don't do that, maybe it will confuse you. So I'm going to create here news category. So I'm going to delete this word table name and put news underscore categories. Make sure the English word is correct, and make sure after this the separation of English words is spaced. So that is news categories underscore table. So it should be like that. Only this part should change. Okay, only this part should change, this one. The remaining should remain the same. Am I clear? Okay. So I hope I'm clear. Only this part where there are dots, they should change. So by running this command, it is going to create for us a migration of what? Of news category table. Okay, it's going to create for us a file of news category table. So let us go ahead and run that command. So I'll open our terminal, I clear the screen. Okay, this is the second terminal, this one for serving, this is the second one. Then I paste and press enter. So when I do like that, you can see that this one has been created successfully. So if you want to jump to there, you can as well press Ctrl and hold it and then click. It will take you direct to that file. But if you want to navigate to that file, it is still again simple. Just simply come to your application, then database, come to the main folder, then databases, then you'll find the last file in the bottom. Okay, so it will be there and saved. So now let us go ahead and add their columns in our table before we migrate it. Okay, so to add columns in this table, what we do, there is an order that you have to follow. So Laravel will automatically add this column. So this is where we put the column. Okay, here. These are where I put the columns, here in this first one. This one is in case when you want to delete a column. That one can be explained later. Okay, so Laravel will automatically put for you ID of that table, which will automatically be incrementing. So don't tamper with it, leave it the way it is. And then here, it will give you the created time and the updated time. Also, don't tamper with it, leave it. It will help us on Eloquence. So the remaining is for us to add our own table. Our own what should I say? Our own columns. Okay. So let us determine the columns first. So we can come here to this file that we'll be using for working with. So let us determine the table columns for news category. So we can have maybe the name of a category. So what else? We can have its details, and then maybe we can have the category featured photo or the photo of the category. Because when someone is about to click on a category, may need to show them a photo. Okay, so these, I think, they are enough. These are enough for us to manage a category. So let's go ahead and add these columns in our migration. So I'll go back to our migration, which is this one, and then add these columns. So there are rules that you have to follow in adding columns. Of course, you cannot just add them for like that. Okay. So to add them, we're going to use this table object and then point like this, okay? Like this, okay? So here you put the column name, the column type. So if you come and search here on Laravel table columns, you'll see them here, okay? On the documentation. So if you search columns, okay, you'll see them here. Can you see? They are here. Here is the link under migration, then columns. But most of them are straightforward, okay? So these are the columns that are supported by Laravel, okay? There are so many, and explaining each of them, okay? But for us, we are just going to deal with very few, not all of them. So if you want to read all of them, they're just like my SQL columns. Come here and read all of them here, okay? But me, I'm going to Boolean, integer, everything is here. But we are going just to demonstrate for you a few ones, okay? So come here and look at possible columns that you can use. So I'm going to tell you a few ones. So the first column is called string, okay, that I would like you to know, the important one. So this one is nothing but a variable character of 45 letters. So if you don't want to write so many things, you can just simply create a column of what? Of string. This is a varchar, is equivalent to varchar of 45 letters. So there's another column itself, which is the variable character. So variable character of 24. A variable character, if you create a variable character, you'll have to specify the limit or the number of characters, okay? So another one is called the text, okay? So this text column is nothing, but it gives you what? It gives you a text size column in my SQL database. So it is a very big space. I mean, very big space where you can save almost everything, so many things, or so many characters. You can come here and search for it and read about it, okay? So you have long text, and this one will help you to create long text. And then you have also maybe text, and then the text, it is the one, this one, let me show you, it is this one, So this one will have to create for you a text column. Then you have a string. A string is just variable character where you can limit, and by default is what? It is 485. So you can come here and read. Okay. So those are the ones. So we have date, we have anything. So if you want to go much more deep into the columns, you can come and find them here. Okay. So these are the ones that you're going to be dealing with in most times, unless otherwise. Okay. You have Boolean, etc. They are all there. So let's go ahead and create our first column. So our first column is going to be a name of a category. So this one can be maybe variable character of maybe 245 letters. Okay. So you can just simply put string, or you can put varchar like this. Okay. Or you can put string and open bracket. So the first you put the column name, then the second parameter you put the limit. So I can say maybe 255 letters. So it means that our table will not allow someone to store more than 45 letters or 255 letters in this particular in this particular column. Then after doing that, so the next thing is to put what we call sorry about that, as to put what you call the conditions. Okay, so you can put this condition like should it allow this table to be nullable, should it allow this table to be auto-incrementing, should it become a unique. So you can come and search them here. They are called what? They are called modifiers. Okay, so if you come here to the documentation and search for modifiers, you'll find them here. So among the modifiers that we have, you have the after. So it means this one should be placed, this column should be placed after a specific column that you can specify. To increment means you do incrementing, maybe among other things that there are so many. Among them, I want just to show you the important ones. So among them is nullable. Okay, so nullable means that someone can still create this item without specifying that particular thing. So if you don't want someone to add an item without specifying a name, so you just leave it from there. So it means that for someone to create this category, must provide at least a name. Okay, so that one you can leave it there. So the next thing we're going to put now, the photo. Okay, so a photo, since it can be a link, okay, a link of a photo, so it means that we better make it what? A text. So I just simply come and say table and then say text. So text can be really very long character, can support so many characters. So I say a text of a table. So now I know sometimes a photo can be, a category can be uploaded without specifying the photo. So it means that you should allow someone to upload a category without specifying the photo. So if you want that to be possible, you put here nullable. Nullable like this. So it means that someone will be able to upload the product. You'll be able to upload a news category without specifying what? Without specifying a photo. So the next thing we can go ahead and put now the what? The details, okay? So the detail page, it can be a long text character or it can be just a text character. So let's go ahead and add that column. So you can just simply come here and put maybe long text like this. So I mean that's a description. So you can as well become just a text or anything. So details page, you can call maybe description. So I also want it to be nullable. So if someone submits without specifying, it should be also okay. So that's why I'm making it nullable. So I think those are the columns that you need for now about a what? About a category. So after doing that, so the next thing is now to do the migration. I've just created the what? I've just created a table structure here. So now my next thing is to migrate this table so it can be created. Right now it is still in files. It's not on the database yet. So let us go ahead and run the command. So I make sure that I've saved. The next thing I'm going to run the command so this table can be written into the database. So I'll go ahead and copy our command of migrating and then expand our terminal and then clear it and then run our command php artisan migrate. When you press enter, it should show you done. Even if you do it again, it should not allow you. I mean, it should nothing to migrate. So if we go to our database, if we go to our table here on the database, you can see our table has been created. Or is it news categories? It is here. So that is very nice to see that our table has been created. Okay, so that is very nice. So let us finish by creating the remaining tables faster, and then we call it a day. So I'll come here and create another table of what? Of news itself. So let us go ahead and determine what we need to put in news post. So maybe we'll have the title, and then we'll have maybe the post itself, which can call the body, and then we'll have maybe the one who added this particular post, and we can call it user ID. So why am I calling it user ID? Because I know the table of user is called users. So the table of users is called users, meaning someone who will be able to post this news, you can just simply call him user ID. Okay, so the one who created that news. Okay, so the next thing, so it will have a title, body, the person who created it, and maybe it will have maybe a photo, or you can call maybe thumbnail or featured photo or anything that you want. Let me call it a photo. So then that's it. I think what else? I think that's all that we need to record about what? About maybe we can also maybe put the number of views. Okay, the number of views. That's it. Okay, so that is our simple news table. Okay, so let's go ahead and create now a migration. So I'll come and copy our command here and duplicate it. I'm going to call it news what? News post. So one thing that we've forgotten is this news post will be, so put news posts, not news post, news posts. Okay, since it has to be plural. So one more thing that we'll have forgotten is this news post will be having a category, will be belonging to category. So if I want to, I will have to add one more column of which category it belongs. So I can put news category, not categories, but category ID. So it is the same table name, but I just singularize it and put underscore ID. So that is the better way of how you can reference things in Laravel. So this is our post, our news post. Next thing, we are going to now to migrate it. Okay, we're going to migrate so we can have it. The file, we can have it. We can have the file and add these columns. So let us go ahead and create the migration. So the migration is php artisan make migration. Sorry, I have to copy this command. I have to copy this. Okay, php artisan make migration create news table posts, news posts table. So let's go ahead and run that. So I will clear the everything and then paste their command. So when I press enter, you can see everything is successful and our second file for the news has been created. So I'll minimize this and then we're going to add here our columns. So let me come and copy our columns here and then put them here for now. I'm going to remove them one by one. Can put them in the comment. Okay, so the first thing we need a news title. So news title can be a text since we don't know how long news can be. So I can duplicate this guy and put here text. And then I put there the name of the table. The name of the column. The next thing is a body. So body can be long text. Okay, long text. Okay, so the next column is the photo. A photo can be a text since it will be a link. And then views. Now these views are going to be integers, right? Because it will be counting like view 1, view 2, view 3. Integer. Okay, those are the reads. The next thing is going to be user ID. So since user ID is an integer from another table, let me make it also what? An integer. And then the last thing is category ID. It is also going to reference from another table. Let us also make it what? An integer. So after doing that, let us see which thing can be nullable and which cannot be nullable. So title, title let it be compulsory. Body let it be compulsory. Photo let it be optional. So I have to make it here nullable like this. Okay. Integer, views, let them be optional. Or I can put default. Default, by the way, there's also default, means that by default should be 0. And maybe I can also make it nullable by default. Okay, but by default should be 0. That should be not compulsory. And then user ID, you can as well put maybe the default user who will be posting the news and make it 1. So in case that there is a user with 1, it will be what? It will be automatically be the 1. So if you don't specify, then it should be must that a news will have a person who posted it. And also maybe you can put a category to be by default 1. But let us also make it a must that someone should be able to post it at first without failing. So after doing that, the next thing is now we are going to run our command. We are going to run our command of migrating these tables. We are going to run our command of migrating this table so you can have this table in our what? In our database. So I'll go here and call PHP artisan migrate. PHP artisan migrate. It's the one that's going to work on the logic of migrating this table. So when I press enter, I see success. So if I come to a database, I see news posts is already there. So that is very good. So even though database is it crashes, we can go ahead and achieve this by just migrating, and then these migration files will be able to add those tables. Then lastly, we're going to create a what? Which other table? The table of comments. Okay, it's going to be just a simple table of news comments. The comment section, So it's going to have user ID, a person who commented, and then it's going also to have a news post ID, on which news post was it commented. So you can call it news underscore post underscore ID, like that, and then maybe the comment body, okay, the comment itself. Okay, so those are the ones that we're going to have in comments. I think we don't need more than that. So let's go ahead and create that comment. So I can go ahead and duplicate this guy, and I put here comments like this. So let's go ahead and do it and run this table. Paste. So we have the comments table here. Okay, so let us go ahead and add there its columns. So I'll come and copy this column that I've added here, and then here, then paste them there for now. And then let's go ahead and put so integer, and then put user ID. Okay, the next thing we put news post ID, and then the next thing is the body. So these are making them IDs because they are what? Because they are integer. I'm making them integers because they are IDs. So let me make this one a what? A long text that someone will be able to write their comment. And then all of them, I think they are compulsory, so I do not make them nullable. So let us go ahead and migrate this table. Okay, so we go ahead and migrate. Boom. So if I come to our table of eBlog, I can see all the tables have been created with their respective what? With their respective columns. So that is very nice. So the next thing is now to create the models, and we're going to do that in the next video. So I hope you've understood how to create migrations. You've understood the meaning of migrations. I hope you've also tried to do it. If you got stuck, don't give up. Go ahead and try again. And I hope you've also learned how you can connect your database with your what? With your Laravel project. So that is what we've covered today. So in the next video or in the next lecture, now we're going to see how we can make use of it. One more thing, before you close, always make sure to commit to your Laravel to your Git project, and then do what? And then push, commit and push. So if I do like this, you can access my code and you can get everything that I've done today. So let's meet in the next video, where we are going to go into much more details. We are going to see now how we can access these tables using Laravel Eloquent. So see you in the next video, and goodbye. Remember to subscribe, remember to share with your friends, and see you in the next video, and goodbye.